Welcome to the virtual orientation for the Canadian. We have a lot of content to go through, so let's hop to it. We'll go through things in kind of a chronological order. Logically, we'll go with the pre-race information, followed by swim information, bike, run, and then post-race. Not everything here will apply to everyone. You can imagine naturally if you're doing a swim cycle event, you don't have to know a whole lot about the run, and vice versa. If you're doing a duathlon, not a whole lot is relevant to you regarding the swim. So even though you might not need to know all this information, take a few minutes, watch the whole video so you're aware of the event and what's going on, and you'll have a much better picture of how to handle race day. So for pre-race, everything happens at the Terry Fox facility on Riverside Drive, right next to Mooney's Bay Park. If you're from the area, it's a super well-known location. So for the bib pickup, you can pick up your bib and get all your information the day before the race, if you're available, from 3 to 6 p.m. So 3 to 6 p.m. the day before the race. If that doesn't work out for you, you can show up on race day as early as 6 a.m. On the day before the race, again, we can be there from 3 to 6 picking up your bib. At 5 p.m., we'll do an in-person orientation, where if you want to be walked around the course, we'll actually take a few minutes, probably closer to about 45 minutes or so, and we'll kind of walk towards the water, walk towards the bike course and the run course, and do a lay of the land, so to speak, in person. So bib pickup is 3 to 6. And at 5 o'clock, we'll do an in-person orientation. If you want, show up a little bit before 5 and grab your bib and get ready, and then do the orientation and then kind of go on your way. Or show up at 5, do the orientation, grab your bib after, and call it a day. My number one suggestion for the weekend is to get your bib the day before. It'll give you a chance to meet our team, ask all your questions, and get the bib pickup out of the way so that race day goes a lot smoother and it's one less thing to do that morning. Sounds good? Excellent. A couple of miscellaneous reminders is that you can park on site and make sure to pay the meter. It's an area of town that's notorious for bylaw enforcement, so don't think you can get away with not paying the meter, so to speak. Pardon me. So if you are going to park on site and drive to the race, or if you have friends who are going to come watch, make sure you guys pay the meter. No one wants to end the day with a parking ticket. So for the morning of, let's say you've picked up your bib or not the day before, it's the morning of the race and you show up, people often ask, like, what do I do? What's the order of operation? Our second biggest piece of suggestion, aside from showing up the day before to get your bib, is to arrive on site 1 hour before the start of your race. So if your race starts at 8, we say get there at 7. That 1 hour gives you enough time to park, get down to the facility, pick up your bib if you haven't already, pick up your timing chip, get your body marking done, go put all your gear into the transition zone. Again, familiarize yourself with the surroundings of the event, get a little warm-up in, and then get to the start line. It's amazing how fast that hour kind of flies by. So give yourself a full hour, show up nice and early, and make sure you're ready for that start time. A little note, for anybody doing the longer triathlon, the 113 tri, or the 70.3, or the half tri, so to speak, we say to get there an hour early, but the registration will not open until 6 a.m. on race day, and your race is at 7. So you can still show up a full hour early and get there at 6, but keep in mind, if you show up a little earlier than 6, we won't be ready and set up until 6 a.m. on the nose. So you're welcome to get there that hour early, but if you show up at 5:50 or 5:45 in the morning on race day, don't be alarmed if the gates are still closed and we're just finishing up the last little bit of setup. That's how it goes. So for everybody else, if you do show up a little bit earlier than an hour, that should be fine. We have plenty of capacity to help you out even earlier. Just don't show up too late to the race. There's no cutoff for when you have to show up, but showing up too late just makes the whole morning a little bit rushed, and it kind of brings up your temperature a little bit. So let's make things calm and easy on race day. And if you have someone that hasn't signed up yet, they can sign up in person during the bib pickup from 3 to 6 the day before the race or on the morning of. They can still sign up online up until a few days before the race. So we always say online is best. That way it's all taken care of and all the paperwork is done and dusted. But if you need to, we can sign you up on site the day before or on race day. The swim. So I'll use my cursor a little bit. Everything's pretty self-explanatory, but it's going to be a beach start, and it's going to be chip timing with a cued or corralled start. So let's break that down. So everyone starts here, and I'll use the first race as an example. So the first race is 1900 meters, and you're doing 2 loops of A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So you're going to start here on the water, on the shoreline next to the water. The air horn goes off, you jump in the water, and you'll go here A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and do 2 loops. And you'll stay in the water. Once that race is done, the next race, 1500, does 2 loops of this shorter distance here. We'll take out this D buoy, so it's no longer in the water. So when you're doing the Olympic tri, or any triathlon really, the answer is swim around all the buoys that are in the water. So we're not going to leave things in where it's a situation where you're going to be forced to ignore that buoy, but swim around this buoy, etc., etc. Swim around all the buoys that are there. For the third race, it's just one loop of that same course. And then for the try, for the 200 meters, you'll be doing just this little section here. And then for our kids races, our surf and turf and whatnot, you'll be swimming just along the shoreline here. But like I said earlier, I kind of glanced over it kind of quickly. It'll be chip timing, meaning that your race will not start until you cross into the water. So let's say everyone's here and you're all lined up for the start. Unless you're planning to be one of the first people out of the water, there's no need to be the first person in the water, because your timing chip will not start until you cross into the water. Secondly, it'll be a corralled start. So not one big mass start where 100 people jump in the water at one time and there's 200 elbows flying around. We'll line you guys up in kind of groups of 1 or 2, a nice long stringed out line, so that you only enter the water 1 or 2 at a time, giving everybody lots of space, lots of room, and a chance to really enjoy the swim part without getting caught in the proverbial washing machine as it's known in triathlon. For the bike course, this is the same bike course that it's been for 40 some years or so. So if you did it before, nothing has changed here. What you'll do is you'll leave the Terry Fox facility on foot. Once you get to Hogsback Road, if you know it, if you don't, follow the cones, follow the athlete in front of you. There'll be a line on the ground, that's your mount line. You'll hop on the bike and you'll do your loops. So one loop is 10 kilometers, so it's 5 kilometers out, 5 kilometers back. That's one loop. You either do 9, 4, 2, or one loop. Make sure you know your loops. We will have a screen at the turnaround point here, so if you are doing 9 loops, I know that can be a little bit daunting. I mean, counting to 1, 2, or 4 is a little more simple, but 9 can get lost in the shuffle. There'll be a screen there, so as you go around, your timing chip will beep. We'll know that you've completed a lap. As you turn around, the screen will then show your name and what lap you're on. So one more piece of foolproof feedback there. So again, I reiterate, make sure you know your loops. It's a pretty straightforward course where you can't really get lost. It's one big road with no stop signs or anything like that. We will have a washroom on course and a bottle drop. So right here at Carlton U, we'll have a little aid station on the side of the road where if you're part of the 113 triathlon, this long triathlon here, you can drop off one of your bottles and pick up one of our water bottles. It'll be full of F2C nutrition. We'll have some water on site as well, a chance for you to keep some fuel going throughout the ride without carrying everything that you need at one go. There'll also be a porta potty there for anyone that needs it right on the course. One important thing for this one is that there is technically a cutoff, but we'll be flexible about the alternatives. Everyone has to be off the road by noon, because by noon the road has to be open to traffic. So as we get to 11:45 or so, we're going to start setting up for a teardown. We'll have people positioned at certain spots on the course to help us break everything down so that by the time it's noon, cars are flowing on the road. It's unlikely that anybody will still be on the road by noon. Last year we were all good and we were in the clear. But if there is someone who's still straggling along, or you think you might be someone that's going to get close to that cutoff time, let us know. We'll have a motorcycle kind of patrol with you for the last little bit so you can stay on the road. Or worst case, you can hop on the bike path that's right beside the road and finish the last little bit on the bike path to get back to Hogsback if you're going to be past the 12 cutoff time. Now, for the swim cycle athletes, you swim, you've cycled, at this point you're done your course, so to speak, but you still have to cross the finish line to mark the end of your race. So if you're going to be doing the swim cycle, you'll do the swim, get to your bike, do the cycle, you'll bring the bike back, put it back in the same spot in the T-zone, and then you'll have to run the 100 meters to the finish line. It's not a very long run, but it's important that you do it so that your race is marked as done. So even though you didn't sign up for a triathlon, let's say, there is a sneaky little run at the end there. So don't forget that. And for the run course, again, same run course that it's been forever and always. Why mess with perfection, as they say? We'll have some photographers along the whole course. So you may have been seeing on all the slides, we say smile for the camera. We have finisher pics, photographers on course throughout the day. So as you're riding along, running along, or swimming along, smile for the camera so you get some great race photos at the end. For this run course, we'll have a water station halfway through right here, and you'll pass it on either direction. So when you leave the T-zone here, you'll pass the water station right at the T-zone here. Here again, do your turnaround, come back, water and F2C, water and F2C. So you have quite a few chances to grab water on every loop. So technically on every 5 kilometer loop, you're going to have 4 water stations, although one of them you're going to pass twice in 200 meters. But even then, if we ignore the water station at the T-zone, you'll be passing this one twice every 5K. So every 2.5K or so, you'll get a water station with MF2C. Lots of chance to refuel. If you want to leave anything of your own there, you can. So let's say you're a fan of a certain product or a certain brand. As you're running along, you'll have to run 1.25 kilometers to get there, but you can drop off some of your nutrition there and then keep doing your run so that as the day goes on and you pass by this aid station, you can grab your own gear and fuel up. So the last couple things, we will have a porta potty again on course down near the turnaround here. And you'll notice that there are 3 different turnaround points. Well, 4 if you count this one here. Let's go with 1, 2, 3, and 4. This last one is only used by the people doing a half marathon, anyone in the 113 try. Everyone else is either going to turn around here or turn around here. So the map again shows it pretty clearly, but I'll break it down just to make sure. The run starts over here. And you'll be going along, and if you're only doing a 2.5 kilometer run, which is a try or some shorter runs, you'll come here, turn around, and come right back. If you're doing a 5K loop, you'll start at the same spot. You'll drop off your bike, start your run, come on down here, turn at the 5K, 10K turnaround, and come back. If you're doing 10K, you'll do a loop again and do it twice. The run's so nice, you'll do it twice. And then finally, for those doing the half marathon, which is part of the 113 try, you have to go a little bit further than the 5K turnaround point to get to this one, and you'll be doing it 4 times. So you'll start here, come all the way down, turn, and back. That's 1 loop. Do that 4 times. 2, 3, and 4. So that's the race. If you have any questions, let us know. But for the post-race, even though the race is over, there's still a couple things you got to think about. We'll have some Libra beer at the finish line, some non-alcoholic options. We'll have a little awards ceremony. Generally, once 80 to 90% of the field is done in a certain race, then we'll do the awards. So there's not really a set time. We usually look at the results to see when most people are done, and then we start doing the awards as the last ones kind of trickle in. We'll have pizza at the finish line as well. And then our last 2 reminders are that when the race is done, the photos will be posted at photos.somersault.ca. It'll take a few days for everything to get posted, usually about 48 hours after the race. We get about 8,000 photos popped on there. So give it a day or 2, but check online to see your race photos, as where your results will be at sportstats.ca, and they're fairly instant. Once you cross the finish line, they're live within a few seconds. If you see anything that looks wrong or needs to be corrected or adjusted, just go visit SportsStats on site on race day or email corrections@sportstats.ca. And that's it. If you have any questions, let me know. I know it's a lot of content, but I'm hoping we kind of glossed over everything and touched on all the important points. Happy to clarify anything, but if not, I look forward to seeing you all the day before race day for bib pickup or for race day itself. Thanks again, and we'll see you at the start line.